dict objects. Collection class collections.defaultdict default factory is equal to none slash optional. Return a new dictionary like object. Default dict is a subclass of the built-in dict class. It overrides one method and adds one writable instance variable. The remaining functionality is same as the dict class and is not documented here. The first argument provides the initial value for the default factory attribute. It defaults to none. All remaining arguments are treated the same as if they were passed to the dict constructor, including keyword arguments. Default dict objects support the following method in addition to the standard dict operation. Missing key. If the default factory attribute is none, this raises a keyword key error exception with the key as argument. If default factory is not none, it is called without arguments to provide a default value for the given key. This value is inserted in the dictionary for the key and returned. If calling default factory raises an exception, this exception is propagated unchanged. This method is called getItem method of by the getItem method of the dict class when the requested key is not found. Whatever it returns or raises is then returned or raised by getItem. Note that missing is not called for any operations besides getItem. This means the get will, like normal dictionaries, return none as a default rather than using default factory. Default dict objects support the following instance variable. Default factory. This attribute is used by the missing method. It is initialized from the first argument to the constructor if present or to none if absent. Default examples. Using list as the default factory, it is easy to group a sequence of key value pairs into a dictionary list. S is equal to yellow 1, blue 2, yellow 3, blue 4, red 1. D is equal to default dict list. For k v in as dk dot append v, sorted d dot items. Okay, let's try. Default dict. Default dict. Example 1.py. From collections import default dict. Okay, sorted d dot items, print d, class list, yellow, blue, red, yellow, blue, red, d dot items. Let's see what it looks like at the first. So D, it looks like this. Both are same. When each key is encountered for the first time, it is not already in the mapping, so an entry is automatically created using the default dictionary function, which returns an empty list. The list.append operation then attaches the value to the new list. When keys are encountered again, the lookup proceeds. Proceeds normally, returning the list of that key, and the list.append operation adds another value to the list. This technique is similar to and faster than an equivalent technique using dict.setDefault. D is equal to blank for kv in as. For kv in as, set d.setDefault k this, sorted this. D is equal to d dot kv in as set default k and b. Print d. Print d. Yellow 1 3, blue 2 4, red. Setting the default factory to int makes the default dict useful for counting, like a bag or multi-set in other languages. S is equal to Mississippi d dot default dict integer for k in s. For k in s, dk plus is equal to 1. Sorted this. Example 2. From collections import default dict. Print d. m1 i4 s1. When a letter is first encountered, it is missing from the mapping, so the default factory function calls integer to supply a default count of 0. The increment operation then builds up the count for each letter. The function integer, which always returns 0, is just a special case of constant function. A faster and more flexible way to create constant functions is to use a lambda function which can supply any constant value, not just 0. Default constant factory value, lambda value. Example 3. From collections import default dict. Constant factory. Pass constant factory. Missing d dot update name is equal to print percentage names, percentage actions to objects. John ran to missing. Setting the default factory to set makes the default dictionary useful for building a dictionary of sets. S is equal to example 4. From collections import default dict. S is equal to red 1, blue 2, red 3, blue 4, red 1, blue 4. Default dict set. For kv in s, dk dot add v, d dot items. Print d. Print d. Let's do it. Class set red 1 3, blue 2 4. Default data set. What if I say blue 4 and this 2? So let's see. Again we will see this. Thank you.